What you doing on Otaku? I'm the AC, and this is What You Doing on Otaku. This week, I'm going to talk about a light novel series that I found, read, enjoyed, and it's the first 4 volumes of A.R. Dragonfly by Joshua Piedra, and with character art by Zara Fahreza. Ooh. So first thing I will say is I found these books because I was already following Josh on Twitter. Kind of knew him a little bit before that on a website called Vix Lab, where I saw his Final Hope series. And then, I guess his marketing for his books was good because I found he made them sound interesting. I got them, and I really like them. They are a very comfortable read, which, to explain what that would mean, is I start reading it and it takes like no effort to just read it. I just want to sit there and read it. They're pretty short, pretty quick reads, but they also have a great pace. They are a slice of life slash video game style. So it follows the story of Amber, who is a video gamer with severe social anxiety. And it's pretty much just about her playing in competitions, playing games online, and kind of slowly, which is key, um, getting over her social anxiety a little bit. She starts meeting some people. She starts with one person that she's built up some trust in and gotten comfortable with, and then it goes from there. What's great is, even though this focuses a lot on video games, it mainly focuses a lot on the characters and their life, but it doesn't like just dump a whole lot of info and backstory onto it. It slowly builds it in a natural way, which I love. It doesn't jump scenes, which happens on a lot of kind of indie authors' books I found. They kind of just like, here's the actiony parts, here's the parts we think are important. This, he gets and goes through everything that you would need. No skipping, no jumping. But then he writes in a way that it's not boring either. So that's what I really love. Um, but Amber as a character, um, she's kind of she's kind of a bitch, I think. And that maybe is just because of her awkwardness, how she tries to deal with her severe social anxiety. But she has some like amusing quirks too, like the way she talks on games is pretty much an exaggerated gamer talk. You get used to it, which once you realize you're getting used to it, makes me kind of feel a little weird too. And it's like, oh, I'm kind of get what this means now. I play a lot of video games, not really online or competitively, so I don't really use this talk. But now, as I've gotten to know the character, I've gotten to know the way she talks too. Uh, then, my favorite character though is her rival, uh, Kaido. Online, he was pretty much the first person to come out of nowhere and beat her. She plays the character Dragonfly. He plays one named Kane, and for a while she was at the top. He comes out of nowhere, beats her over and over, and it drives her crazy. But since I thought Amber was kind of a bitch, I was always rooting for Kaido to win. Which, Amber's the main protagonist. But even before it was revealed that Kane is Kaido, I was still rooting for him. But then that also comes with revealing Kane as Kaido is kind of obvious. If there's one thing the book is kind of not like terrific at, is like keeping mysteries. It's pretty obvious. Any little bit of mystery he tries to put in there, It's like, oh, okay, well that's obviously what's going to happen, and it does. What I will say is the outcome of the games, of the matches that they play, those aren't as predictable. He does a good job at describing the action in the games and in a way that's easy to visualize and something to where you're not going to know who wins. You can probably guess and be like, story wise, this could happen or this. The possibilities are never solid. But, as they go along, there's more characters. Takumi and Lin. Then there's Amber's first friend, Sebastian. You get to know them more. Sebastian's dad. You get Kairo's parents in Volume 4. And what I love is all these characters seem to have their own unique personality. A lot of times, characters seem to just blend together. This doesn't really happen in this case. And he makes it in a way that it's opening to where even more characters are going to come in, and they also have their own unique personality. He definitely knows where he's going with this story, which is great. Because a lot of times when I write, I don't think that far ahead. And it seems like a lot of time other people don't either. If I had to get nitpicky with one thing, and after reading this, there was only one thing I could really get really picky about, and I've seen this in other people, and it's kind of just it kind of just seems like a cultural thing nowadays anyways, is he misuses OCD. Um, he he says Amber is OCD because she likes to keep stuff neat and organized, which is not necessarily what OCD is. The one thing that she does do though that is OCD is every time she leaves, she always checks to make sure she has everything she needs. Every single time. And he mentions that. Every time she leaves her apartment. But I do the same thing. Every time I leave, I check to make sure I have my wallet, phone, and keys. Every time. I check a few times. So, I don't even, that's not really OCD either. That's just a normal thing we, as a society, realize we probably need every time we leave. But that's it. Really, I can't think of any other negatives. If anything, after the main story, he gives you even more content. He gives you character bios for the main characters of that volume, including their avatars in the game. He gives lore for the game, which is interesting all on its own. And in the first 4 volumes, he kind of has his own little lore story, which finishes in the 4th volume. So I hope in the 5th volume, he's going to add another story to go with the lore or something else. Because I've already gotten used to it in the first 4 volumes. I hope it goes on throughout the 5th and further. And then, all 4 volumes are packed full of references to pop culture, stuff he likes in his life, and he gives a reference list for each chapter on each reference he included, which is great. I love when authors add stuff like that. Commentary in general, I love when they add. So overall, I really enjoyed these light novels. I'm looking forward to the 5th one, whenever that one gets published. But until then, he has another light novel series called Final Hope, 2 books. So I'm probably going to read those next while I wait. But yeah, that is pretty much all I will say for these books. There's a whole lot more to read. They're pretty quick. They're comfortable to read, like I said. But if you want to read more, just look them up. Joshua Piedra. But thank you for watching. Hope you would look at the books. If you already read them, comment, say what you liked about them. I left out a whole lot of stuff. I left out everything in the games pretty much, and a lot more details. So there's a lot more to talk about. So just let's have a discussion about them. But until next time, I'll see what you're doing, Otaku. Bye.